In this video, you will know how to calculate a OEE for the given problem. Consider a case where you're given with these data. We have to calculate the OEE. Now to calculate the OEE, we have a formula, which is we take a product over the availability index, the performance index, and the quality index. But in order to find the availability index, we need two data, that is planned production time and runtime. In order to calculate performance index, we need to know runtime, ideal cycle time, and total count. In order to calculate quality index, you have to know good count and total count. Now the text which is given in the red is already given in the question. The text given in the blue is something we have to compute now. Let's get started. So this is the data that is given. The first thing that we'll calculate is planned production time, which can be done by taking the shift length and subtracting it with unavoidable breaks. So the total shift length is 480 minutes and we subtract it with 60 minutes. We get a total time of 420 minutes. Then, in order to calculate the runtime, we subtract the stop time from the planned production time. Now that is 373 minutes. In order to calculate the good count, it is pretty intuitive. We know the total count and we know the rejected quantity. If we just take the difference, we'll end up with good count. Now that we know all the data, we can just go on and calculate the availability index, performance index, and the quality index. So it turns out the availability index can be calculated by runtime divided by planned production time, which gives a value of 0.881. And for performance index, you just have to multiply the ideal cycle time by the total count and divide it by runtime, which is 0.86. Similarly, for quality index, as you would have thought, it is good count divided by total count. Now if you take the product of all these values, you end up with OEE of the industry. It was easy. But let's dive into what the formula really says. I'd like to talk about the performance index. To give you a perspective, think of Usain Bolt, who can finish a 100-meter race in just 9.58 seconds. But you call him for a race one day, and you measure and you find it out that he could finish a race in 10.5 seconds. Now, we can say that Usain Bolt did not perform as good as well he could perform. So, in order to find how much he has performed, what we do is we divide his ability to run a 100-meter race by the actual race. So, which turns out that today, Usain Bolt has only given 91.23 of his performance. Now, let's look at the formula that we used. We want ideally our system to finish the job within this amount of time. That is ideal cycle time, which is the time taken to complete one particular component, into the total number of components that we have to produce, divided by the runtime, which is the actual time. Well, now what is availability index? Well, now think of a professor or some prominent man trying to give a lecture. You invited him, but he's very conscious of time. So, but before, unfortunately, you had to set a mic for him. Now you take 10 minutes to just set up the mic for him. Now he's a strict guy. So, let's say you planned a lecture for 1 hour, but he ended up giving lecture only for 50 minutes because you took 10 minutes to set up the mic. So how much was he available? In what percentage? What would you do? You would divide the actual time that you gave the lecture by the planned meeting time or the planned production time. So hope this makes sense. And now just by multiplying all this. This is just not a formula, but just logics. Now we know all the data, we can just multiply, find the OE, and calculate the effectiveness of our industry. Thank you.